Hey, what's up, everybody? I thought I'd fool around with some of the special effects on my video camera, but I want to talk about something that I just really think needs to be said. This is out. This video is for the silver haters. I really don't understand the mentality of some individuals out there, and there are more than one. There are a few. And these are the people who may or may not have had silver or gold at one point and feel that they cannot trust their instincts. They second guess themselves, which is a sign of insecurity. And instead of just saying, okay, I can't get into gold and silver, I just don't trust my decision, I'll just get out of it and move on and find something better in my life, according to themselves, they say, well, the old misery loves company routine, where they say, well, if I'm going to go down, I'm going to bring as many people down as I can. Which to me just makes absolute no sense. And you'll see there are people who will make multiple channels, which to me is pretty pathetic if you think about it. If there are people out there making multiple channels just to bash something, you got to find a better hobby. But they will go from silver video to silver video and just sit there and attack, 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 and sometimes just say the most ridiculous things. Now, I want to show you how crazy this is in the real world, because I think these people should find something better to do. We understand you don't like gold and silver. For whatever reason it is that you have, for you to constantly attack something makes no sense. I mean, for example, are you going to have a date with a girl and that particular girl, just things don't go well? Maybe she was psychotic, or maybe you just didn't click, or maybe she just wasn't that attracted to you. Are you going to all of a sudden now hate women and try and convince people, oh, you shouldn't date women because you had a bad experience? No, you just find another girl, find one that's better for you, and move on. It's the same thing, like, for example, if you are turning on your television and the first show that comes on is a show that you just don't like for whatever reason, a normal, regular person would just say, okay, let's see what's on channel such and such. They won't sit there and watch it yelling at the screen how much they hate it. And then just think of it this way. Then that person, instead of changing the channel and finding something they might like, they continue to watch it and just bash the show. They call the cable company and they start saying, well, this channel 16, it's got a show that I can't stand. I can't understand the characters. It doesn't make sense. They're promoting things I don't agree with. I hate this show. Why do you have it on? I think you should shut down the whole network. It's showing your credibility, blah, blah, blah. Just imagine the person on the other end of that conversation, sitting there confused out of their mind. Why is this moron calling me, telling me how much they hate a show? If you don't like it, watch something else. Just because you may not like something doesn't mean there aren't 50 million people that may like it. You know, hence the reason why shows like Jersey Shore are actually on the air, because there will be people who will like anything. And that's the wonderful thing about the internet, because no matter what somebody says, no matter how ridiculous it may sound, there will be somebody on the planet who will actually agree with it. I mean, you can have, and this is the wonderful thing about the internet, you can have somebody make a video, just randomly, saying how they've decided, and they'll give plenty of amazing reasons why you should do this, that they've decided that their god is now a carrot, and they're going to worship that carrot. The funny part is, somewhere on this planet, there will be a person flipping through videos that will come to that video and say to themselves, wow, that makes sense. I will now do that as well. So this whole thing of the silver haters, the silver bashers, if you don't like it, we get it. We understand that. But why the need to come to people like my channel and others to just go from channel to channel? And I look at people's profiles. I see the ones that I could see are pretty much trolls. And you'll see, you go on their profile, and it shows all the comments that they leave on other people's channels. And they will exclusively go just to silver and gold channels and say, oh, silver sucks, silver's going to plummet, I can't believe I invested in silver, blah, blah, blah. Really? Misery loves company, I guess, but and there'll be people who will follow it. As you see, there are other channels plenty of views and people agreeing. Like, for example, well, let's put it this way. If there's a crash in the economy, okay, let's say the stock market crashes like it did that started the Great Depression, or your currency becomes less valuable, or even all of a sudden no longer has value, like we've seen in the past. Just because it sounds crazy and just because it's not likely to happen does not mean it cannot happen. We should learn this in history. Otherwise, like they say, if you don't research history, you're doomed to repeat it. And we're seeing a lot of repetitions right now, especially when you're thinking about comparing what's going on to and making it similar to what the Germans had to deal with in Nazi Germany. There's a lot of similarities, but most people want to look a blind eye and think these things can't happen. But like I said, let's just assume there's a bad case scenario where there's a bank shutdown or bank holiday or the stock market crashes. What would you invest in? I hear a lot of people bashing, but I don't hear them saying, okay, do this, and give actual good reasons for it other than, oh, I hate. That's nothing but insecurity. That's nothing but emotion. That's somebody that for some reason second guesses themselves. They don't trust their own instincts, and they are having that mentality of, I'll take as many people with me as I can. To me, that's not productive. I mean, what would you invest in? Would you really want to invest in a fiat currency that's lost purchasing power since the inception of the Federal Reserve Act of 1913? We've lost purchasing power. Prices are not going up. They are printing so much money that you need more of it to be able to purchase those very same items. And that is why you see things, for example, like gold and silver, especially gold, rising. It's because of the fact you need more of this worthless fiat currency. And I'm sorry, it's not worthless yet, but this devaluing currency to be able to buy things. And that's why things like gas and oil is not scarce. You can believe that from the news, but since they've had all these crises back in the 70s, and they continually say the same things that we're scarce on oil, well, how long ago was that? That was over 30 plus years ago. All of a sudden now, we're still in that same crisis for over 30 years. People want to believe what they want to believe. So, we have seen, as far as gold and silver and precious metals are concerned, we've seen dips. We get it. There are always going to be corrections, and there are always going to be times where the prices will go up a little bit and test. There's a test going. And then it drops back down. That is healthy. That's what you want to see. Because when you start getting higher lows, it shows that it's stabilizing at certain points. That's why we haven't seen silver drop back down to 12 and 8 and 3. And we have yet to see it in the past couple of years drop below 26. So yes, the silver haters out there and the people who might have sold their silver will sit there and say, oh, look, the silver's dropping, you know, I regret my decisions. Well then, okay, get over it, move on, and find another hobby. If you don't like what the long term takes, if you can't handle it, if you're not secure in your decisions, then sell your silver, sell your gold, buy whatever you think you want, glorify in your dollar bills that each day they print more of, it takes more to buy something. And this is also where they trick you, because when you go shopping, if you're one of those people, if you're a single person or you just are the one that does the food shopping in your house, you know that not only are things getting more expensive, but you're getting less of them. Prime example, God, it's been a while, but I think last year I went to buy cookies, because I don't buy garbage snacks very often. Once in a blue moon, if I get a craving, I will get them. And the normal old package used to have 4 rows of these chocolate chip cookies. Well, when I bought them, there were only 3 stacks. So, smaller amounts. And that's how they fool you, because you'll think, oh, well, maybe it went up a nickel, or, oh, it's staying the same price, but you're getting less of it. So, we have to understand something. There are going to be people out there, for whatever reason, and personally, I don't really give a rat's ass why they don't like gold and silver, but for them to spend all of their energy and time doing nothing but going from channel to channel, bashing something, just to me, I mean, it's the negative Nancy syndrome. If you don't like something, move on. If I don't like something, like for example, people that have been watching my channel for a while know that I've had certain feuds with certain individuals. Now, every one of these cases, it's been in defense of an attack. I've never actually gone and picked out a person and said, I'm going to start a fight with that person. It always ended up that I had to defend myself. Now, does that mean I've always said everything right? Absolutely not. I take full responsibility for what I do, because whether or not I started it or not, I'm responsible for my part. So I'm man enough to realize those things. And you'll never see any of the other people ever apologize for any of their parts, because they like I said, goldfish mentality. They just forget, move on, or change their ideals. But the point of the matter is there are people out there that will go around and just attacking and attack and attack, instead of just saying, okay, I don't like gold and silver, so I don't buy it, and I move on. That's what they should say. Or, I don't trust my decision in it, I should get out and find something better. But you never see these people talk about anything else they don't like. Like, for example, I don't collect stamps. Now, does that mean stamps are a bad investment? Who knows? I don't know enough about them to talk about it. But you will never see me waste my time going on other people's videos to talk about how much they love stamps and say, oh, you're crazy, this, that, and the other thing. Who cares? I didn't know in this country, or in this world, we were not allowed to express our individualism. And if somebody does something that they don't agree with, they don't just let you do it, they have to attack you. And that's why we have bigotry and racism and hatred in this world. Because there are people out there who think they are so superior to others that it is their God-given right to tell someone else, you can't do that. You can't have that. You can't pray to that. I mean, are you really... And we're supposed to be a civilized society. Like, for example, when it comes to gay marriage or gay couples, do I agree with that? Honestly, no. But does that mean I would stop somebody from the right to choose it? Absolutely not. Because it's their right to do whatever they want to do. Whether I agree with it or not is irrelevant. But who am I if I was to suggest to a couple, you can't be together? What purpose is that? It's a waste of time. First of all, you're not going to go up to, let's say there's a gay wedding about to happen. You're not going to go in there and say, listen, I just wanted to let you know I don't agree with it, and blah, 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 and they do the whole religious thing. They're not going to sit there and say, oh, you make perfect sense. You know what? I can't do this. It makes no sense. Well, let's have another example. Somebody's religion. And I even was kidding around saying, somebody might make a video about worshiping a carrot. Well, you know what? It's their right. So if they want to do that and they believe in it, it makes them happy, then God bless them. And this whole religious thing where they say, oh, well, you open this book, which was made by man, by the way. If I ever saw a book called the Bible where all of a sudden you see lightning in the sky carve into the book and it comes down and says this is the word of God, then I will believe it. But here's another controlling system. Organized religion. Because there's nothing wrong with faith. But obviously if you see throughout the world, there are different beliefs. Okay? And every person has the right to do whatever they want as long as it doesn't infringe on other people's rights. So for somebody to sit there and say, I'm opening up this book that was written by a man at some point, and I'm going to chastise a particular type of person because they don't believe in my invisible God. Well, who the hell are you? So I know this is going off on a tangent, but we have to understand something. When it comes to the silver community, there are people, for some reason, they spend their whole life hating something. You know what? If you see my channel, and if you remember my old channel, I talk about more than just gold and silver. I'm not one of those people that will just focus on one particular thing. That's why every now and then I will talk about the government. I will talk about the sun gazing. I will talk about how we need to unite. I will bring up other subjects because, you know what? I have more than a one-track mind. But you will never hear me saying and going on other people's videos attacking them of how much they hate something. And they never use logic. They just use emotion. Oh, silver's going down to 20. Silver's going down to 10. Silver's going up to 500. So I'm not just going to say about the silver bashers. There are people out there, because they want you to visit their channel or they sell silver, where they'll say, oh, guess what? If you get silver, it's going to go to the moon. It's going to go to $500 an ounce. Well, that's ridiculous, too. That may happen, but it's not happening tomorrow. It's not happening this year. Could it happen? Sure. Just the same as, could it drop down to 5? Sure. It's not going to stay that way, because I'll tell you this much. If silver dropped to $5 tomorrow, it wouldn't stay that way because people would be buying it like crazy. If silver went up to $500 tomorrow, guess what? It wouldn't stay that way. People would be selling like crazy. People base things on emotion. That is why the media and the government can easily persuade the average sheep out there of situations that are not accurate, because they base it on your emotion, your insecurity. Why do you think people have fashion? Do you think people spend extra money on all these fancy pocketbooks and name brand jeans and, fancy sweaters and whatever because they really believed in it at one point? Or is it because they were told about it? Are you in style? Are you in fashion? Are you one of the cool people? Drink our beverage if you want to get all the women. You ever see that in a beer commercial where they take all these beautiful people who are doing nothing but partying on a yacht? Because, that's the average person out there drinking beer. Not for nothing. I've worked in bars since 1999, and I've yet to see a scenario like that in any bar I've ever been in. Maybe I'm in the wrong bars. Who knows? But the whole point is, they feed on your emotion. We have to stop that. So you'll have these silver haters and gold haters who will go along using hardly anything but emotion for some reason, because they don't agree with it, and they're wasting their time hating on it and trying to get other people to join their flock. And like I said before, somebody could go on the internet and worship a carrot, and there will be people that will agree. So you'll see other people's channels where there will be people praising those very same people. There's a saying, and it's actually a Star Wars reference. I find that funny. Now, do I know if it originated from there? I don't know, but it's the first time I ever heard from it, and it's stuck with me all of my life. Who's more foolish, the fool or the fool who follows him? I want you to think about that, because it's bad enough that somebody may preach hatred. What's worse is the people who agree and follow that person. It's bad enough there are ignorant people out there who will preach racism, bigotry, basically evil. What's worse is the people that agree with them and follow them. Now, I'm not saying silver and gold haters are like those people. I really don't care. I don't follow their channels. Once in a while I might peek in and see what they're talking about, but I'm not one of those people. It's like, oh, I don't like that person, so I'm going to watch every one of their videos and I'm going to tell them how much I hate them. That is the most ridiculous thing. And yet some people will do it. I've had haters, the same haters, since around 2011, still talking about me. To me, that's insecurity. I mean, please, seriously, get over it. I mean, I've dated plenty of women in my life, and obviously, now that I'm married, it meant I met one girl. So, do you hear me talking about videos about how much I hated my ex-girlfriends, or how bad one of them may have treated me? No, you move on. Like, if I was dating a girl, and things didn't go well, I'm not going to be sitting there crying for the rest of my life. I'll be like, here, let me open the door for you. Don't let it hit you on the ass on the way out. Have a nice life. Who's next? I don't sit there and worry about and complain about it and hate on it for my whole life. So I know I'm going to get my usual thumbs down, which is absolutely fine. Because obviously you can see it doesn't stop me. It's the reason I react to it, because I'm just one of those people. It's like, to me, it's so pathetic. I understand if somebody watches a video and says, you know what, I don't particularly like that, and I'm going to voice my opinion by clicking a thumb down. To me, it's just, really? I understand that, but I'm talking about the person where I will upload a video, and you will see, because this is going to be a long video. I will get 2 to 3 thumbs down 10 seconds after I upload it, which means they didn't watch it. They just sat there waiting for me to make a video and said, thumbs down. I don't like it. I don't care what it is. I'm not going to watch it. Thumbs down. Those people, seriously? I wish I knew who they were. I'd send them $100 so they can get some kind of prostitute so they can go get laid. I mean, because that's seriously what they need. Because if you seriously spend your life waiting for people to make videos so you can automatically thumb them down because you don't like them, you need to reevaluate where your life is headed. And you need to stop drinking, because I'm sure that's part of it. You know, I understand people who are waiting for someone they like. That, to me, makes more sense. You know, looking forward to, like, a TV show. You don't sit there and say, God, oh, in another 5 minutes, there's going to be that show that I hate, so I better turn to it and call the company that made it and tell them how much I hate it. Do you hear how ridiculous that sounds? So, for all of you who are collecting gold and silver, believe in your decisions, trust your instincts, and don't worry. Because I know the rational people out there really don't worry about what these haters have to say. Because it's ultimately ridiculous. And to those people out there that do nothing but bash something, if you want to spend your whole life being negative Nancy, I like to call those people, that's your right. But do it to yourself. Why are you hurting other people with misinformation, lies, and nothing but emotion? Because silver, I hate to tell you people, good and bad, silver will go up, silver will go down. If you notice, it hasn't gone down to $5 in a very long time. It hasn't gone down to $12 in a very long time. It hasn't gone down to $20 in a very long time. It hasn't gone down to $25 in a very long time. Can it happen? Sure. Do you think it's going to stay that way? Well, based on the past, especially the recent past in the last 5 years, it hasn't. So, I don't know what else I can say at this point. And if people want to say they regretted their choices of silver purchases, here's my advice. So if you have kids, you may want to shut the volume off at this point. Just for this one thing. So here it goes. So the people out there who hate silver, get the fuck out. For the people who go from channel to channel to tell everybody how much they hate silver, shut the fuck up. To everybody else, you're allowed to have an opinion. You're allowed to have a discussion. Don't make it one-sided. Because if you only see one side, then you will never get the big picture. Because there are two sides to every story. And if you are that close-minded where you sit there and say, la la la, I don't want to hear it, la la la, I don't want to see it, I don't want to talk about it, well, then you're never going to get it. And that doesn't mean people like myself and others have everything solved. Obviously I don't. But I trust my instincts. That's why you see, I don't flip-flop, I don't change my ideals, and I look at it logically, and in the future. I don't worry about the present where it's up and down, because it's a roller coaster. And some people just, either they don't get it, or they don't care, and they're just going to create their agenda. You never see them talking about anything else. To me, I would love to know why. If you don't like something, the normal average person just stops doing it. You know, if you're walking down the street and somebody just starts going like this and starts punching you in the shoulder, are you just going to sit there and stand there and let them do it and tell them how much you don't like it? Excuse me, I don't like that. That hurts. That's not something I want to have happen. I don't think you should do that. Ow, that's, why are you going to stop at any time? I got things to do. Should I just stand here? Sound ridiculous? You walk away, or you knock the fucker out, or you do something, you call the police. You don't just sit there and say, I don't like that. That's the mentality of some of these silver and gold haters, because they spend their whole life just standing there and saying how much they don't like something. Get out of it. So that's all I could say at this point. This is a long enough video. The people who get it will understand. The haters are just going to hate regardless of what I say. That's why you'll never see any of my videos have 0 thumbs down. And you know what? I will not take off the thumbs down and thumbs up option, because I will never give them the satisfaction to think they got to me. Because it's for every one of those that does it illegitimately. In other words, thumb it down just because they don't like me. I find them so pathetic because they never have the courage to ever admit they do it. That's how pathetic these people are. And does that mean I'm perfect? No, because those people, I don't wish anything bad. I mean, God bless them. I hope they turn around one day and decide I'm going to be a good person instead of an evil piece of shit. And we all judge. I mean, look, I'm doing judgment right now. That shows we're all human. We all make mistakes. But you know what? As you see with some of the people, and I'll give a prime example. There was a person, his name is, I think it's City Slicker 500, where we had a problem for a while. But you know what? At one point, we talked, man to man, aired out all the differences, moved on, and now we're civil to each other. There have been several people. Like the person's name is JP Morgan Sucks Balls, and he just found my channel again, so thank you, welcome. There was a time he hated me, and he made videos talking about how much he hated me. But again, we talked, solved the problem, and haven't had a problem yet. See, if you can talk to rational, civilized people, you can actually have disagreements or arguments or fights and actually talk civilly and move on. But there are some people who are just evil. There are some people who hate no matter what. The people that will be racist. The people who want to gay bash or tell other people what their rights are. Isn't that one of the reasons why we have such a runaway government? Where they just tell you what you can and cannot do in every single form? Aren't we getting sick of that yet? You want to collect gold and silver for whatever reason? God bless you. You want to collect stamps for whatever reason? God bless you. If your hobby is sniffing bottle caps because you enjoy the smell, God bless you. Not something I'm going to do, but I'm not going to go to people's channels that do it and say, oh, that's dumb and that's wrong and you shouldn't do that and that's ridiculous. So what? I like gold and silver. I trust my instincts. I know long term I'm going to be very happy with my decision ultimately. And it doesn't matter how many people tell me I've made the wrong decision. Who are they to tell me how my decision is wrong? It could be wrong for everybody. And in the end, it ultimately could be wrong for me. But that is my choice. And that is your choice to do what you do. Do not let anyone dictate what you do. You can get information. You can get advice. You can get educated on something because knowledge is power. But ultimately, if you let somebody else's emotion make your decision, then they're not the problem. It's you. So thanks for watching. Hopefully we will become a civilized society that we can actually allow people to do whatever they want, as long as it doesn't infringe on my rights and your rights. And then we will have a peaceful, civilized society. Until then, it's nothing but a fraud and a wannabe. So, thanks for watching, and have a great day. Peace, peace, peace.